objective for this topic is to be familiar with mathematical terms. It's very important. Okay? Why is it very important to be familiar with mathematical terms? Because earlier, how many of you do not like math? Kamurag kamo gyud tanan, no? So murag, does it also imply na kung di mo ganahag math, di mo ganahan sa maestra? Ana ba na siya? Is it directly proportional?
No.
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 It's not the eye. May nalang sa murag nagsakit hinay-hinay akong kasing-kasing nga gamay kaayo bitaw. So we should be able to understand mathematical terms because if we fail to understand mathematical terms, that is where mathematics become more difficult. No, lisod na galing siya, di pa nakasabot sa terms, samot murara na siya og katong kuan ba kana bitaw kung mag-perform tag operation, like for example, square root, no? Taking the square root. Kung English, masabtan pa. Like, the square root of 10 raised to the power of 10. Masabtan pa, di ba? Kung itagalog na to, parisugat-ugat ng 10, itaas natin sa kapangyarihan ng 10, murag sugod, uglabad inyong ulo, no? Mutik mo biogesic. Okay? Pero kung ato siyang ibisaya, square ugat sa napulo isaka na to sa gakum sa napulo, di ba? Ningkirig na ka, di ba? So it's very important. So, it's very important to underscore, di ba? Muna nilang kasi mga estudyante, how do you want mathematics to be taught? Is it English, Tagalog, or Bisaya? So pili mo. Okay? So, asa mga kasabisaya, square ugat sa napulo, isa ka na to sa gahom sa napulo, di ba? Mag-ikis-ikis, so, dungagan na to, di ba? So, ayun sila, mag-English na lang, ma'am. English na lang daw, mas sabtan. Anyway, so, as I was saying, dapat, hastang lalumag yun sa words. Kaya kung English, murag pa'y puruhan nga makatres, no? Pero ang math, kung Bisaya, kay murag 5 gyud tanan. Muna gining time nga murag matanggal lagi ko sa siyo kay tanan nga bagsak. Ano nabagsak man ni math? Kuan man gud Bisaya man gud gigamit, di ba? So sumpay-sumpayon nato daw puhaan nato ang napulo. Isa ka nato sa gahom sa napulo. Pila man, di ba? Anyway, so yeah, it's very important that we have to be familiar. No, not necessarily nga i-memorize nato siya kasi the thing with memorization is pwede nato siya makalimtan. Okay? So it would be better if it will be familiarize nato siya. So apply mathematical steps in doing problem solving. Appreciate the wide range of use of mathematics in our daily lives. So most likely ang math waterloo siya sa ato, especially if our past experiences with mathematics before is not that good, no? Kanato mga teacher sa una, tapos ang subject pa gyud kay alauna kayo sa hapon, katulgon kita, di ba? Pirok-pirok na itong mata, mura tayo isapian, o masamang espiritu, di ba? Kaya sulirap na itong mata, kay katulgon na kay kasakatanan, tapos math ang subject, di ba? So, kana siya nga mga instances. We do not appreciate, we do not discuss mathematics in, like, for example, mamiliti ka, di ba? Kung mamiliti ka, di ba, kami sa driver nga, Kuya, bayad, SP na siya, 20 akong kwarta, G's akong sukle kay SP, subtraction na siya, kuya, di makamingon ana, di ba? You do not do this, or else dugay kita mauman, or magbalik ka pagkaon sa kantin. Ate, 100 akong bayad, may nusunod 50 na siya. Pana siya ate, subtraction, then observe one decimal digit right after the decimal point, so 50.0, di ba? Hastang kahasol ba ya? Di ba? Parehas na siya sa physics or sa chemistry. We did not acknowledge all these concepts taught inside the classroom kasi dugay kay mauman. For example, sa physics, law of inertia. Diba? Ang law of inertia, simple na kayang definition. Tanan object na wala nag-move will remain will remain immobile kung dili mo siya i-push or dili mo siya i-pull. Pero tanan object na ga-move will remain moving kung imo siyang i-push unless imo siyang mag-exert kag external force. So ay may nagsakay kag jeep. Naminaw ka sa music na gusto ko nang bumita. Naminaw ka. Imot kasi muna ning break o kalit. Diba? Alam mo yung kagsimong abay nga, uy, law of inertia, biya ni siya. First law of motion, discussion naman ni sa physics, boy. Alam mo, na lugar ka. Diba, dili? Di ba? So, we do not do that. Or kung mag-apply kasi mong dagway o mga makeup, mag-color ni mo na imong kilay, di ba kamaingon nga, this is actually the application of chemistry in cosmetics. You know, the substance present in this, your lipstick contains lead. Mo nang ginabawal ni siya nga kaning chemical substance sa imong lipstick, dili man. Or mingon ka, kani bitaw akong pagkaon nga ginakaon karon, mo undergo man ni siya chemical change, mo na iniglabas na ni tai, di ba? So dili, you don't do that, of course, no? The same as with mathematics. But the very good thing with mathematics, the beauty of mathematics is maski asa ka padulong gamit kay nimo siya. In fact, when you will be teaching in the future, when you will join us in the academy, no, mugamit kag math, in math way, mag-compute og grado, maghatag og score, math gyapon na siya. Not necessarily nga higher math, but there's still math in there. Okay? The nature of mathematics basically shows us patterns in nature. Everything that surrounds us, there is mathematics on it. From the leaf, no, from the patterns of the feathers, from the stripes of the zebra. This actually includes mathematics, and all the way are actually unique from each other. Dili necessary nga kaning, for example, kaning zebra, you might look at it nga parehas naman na siya prints. No, they don't. Each of these prints are actually unique from each other. The same as true with your fingerprint. Kana sa inyong kamot, no? The prints in your fingers is actually uniquely done, okay? And is different from the other. Kay kung parehas patag fingerprint na daghan ta Ma'am Reyes, daghan tag Dr. Jessa, daghan tag Mr. Ule, daghan tag Mr. Torrejos, daghan tag Mr. Bao. So each of us is actually unique. The patterns itself is actually unique. Okay? They can be mathematically modeled as symmetries. So, sa meaning ano symmetries? Balance. Like, for example, body figure. 36, 36, 36. Aw, dili dahi. Kung na, wow, log. Manday na. Kung legs pa na, wow, log. Imbis na, wow, legs. Wow, log. Kaya parehas og dimension. So, symmetries meaning balance. Like, 36, 24, 36. Proportional. Ano siya? Trees, spirals, meanders, waves, foams, tessellations, cracks, stripes. All these are actually models of patterns in nature. Okay? Examples of patterns in real life scenario: the number where your house is situated, the final grade shown in your grade 12 subjects, or the feast day of the infant Jesus in Shrine Hills in Davao City. Okay? These are actually situations that involves numbers and patterns. Just like, for example, kaning very common example kaning feast of infant Jesus in Shrine Hills in Davao City. Is every third Sunday of January. So the pattern is mo celebrate mo every January but no specific date, because the third Sunday of January could any be dates, no? Another example, inyong birthday, no, birth date rather. When you write situation doon, ibutan ninyo my birthday. Okay, numbers, January 20. Ayaw i-include ang year. You should not include the year because dili man siya pasabot na ara ka mag-birthday ana nga year, dili man. So imo lang butang imuhang month o date, no, birthday. So every 20th of January I celebrate my birthday. So muna siya ang patterns, okay? Now these patterns in nature is actually can actually be computed, no, to compute for the golden ratio. So na siyang golden ratio. The golden ratio is the much I forgot the term. Karang bitawng muni siya ginan look up na ratio sa mga architects, engineers, no, kasi it gives the best proportion that is suiting to the eye. Like hindi siya sakit, di ba? Kung for example, na kay makita nga pattern niya, di ka ganahan sa pattern, sakit na siya sa mata tan-awon. Especially ka ng mga dagway sa inyong ex, sakit man siya sa mata tan-awon, di ba? Lain siya nga pattern, so di na ka ganahan tan-aw. So kanang golden ratio gives you the idea of a perfect proportion that is pleasing to the eye. Okay? The Fibonacci sequence is mathematically defined as f sub n equal to f sub n minus 1 plus f sub n minus 2. By definition, the Fibonacci sequence is an array of numbers. When you have numbers, group of numbers that given two terms, the next term can be determined by adding the given terms. So how do we do that? For example, this one. Okay? So, remember that the terms are always expressed as f sub 0 and f sub 1. So, dili mo na siya pwede alisdan o imong favorite number nga f sub 10, f sub 20, no. Okay? And do not worry if your first term is equal to 0. It doesn't matter. In fact, it doesn't matter if your first term is a larger number or a smaller number. Dili ko siya mag-matter. As long as your sequence will give you a positive number na siya. So if we are to expand these two terms, okay, so most likely you will expect this. You have 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. Now the question is, how were we able to get this expansion? Yun sa muna siya pagkuha, okay? There's a simple explanation to that, given that the Fibonacci sequence is defined as, defined as f sub n is equal to f sub n minus 1 plus f sub n minus 2. Okay? So here, all you need to do is to add up the first two terms, so 0 and 1. Then this gives you 1. Okay? So mo ni siya imuhang answer. Okay? So how were we able to get 2? All you need to do is to copy the second term, serves as your first term. Then you copy the result of the previous term to give you 2. So muna siyang 2. How were we able to obtain 3? So the same process, you copy 1, then you add 2, thus you have 3. Can you follow? Can you follow?
Yes
or no? May I see a reason for you can follow? Sandra? Alright. So, what do you think would be the next number to 13 if we are to expand this further? What's the next number to 13?
21.
21. Alright, 21. No? So, how did we get 21? So, you simply add 8 and 13. What's the next number to 21 if we are to expand further?
34.
34.
34. Then we have 55 and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is Fibonacci sequence. So all you need to do is to add up the first two terms and you will be able to determine the succeeding terms in a given two terms. No? Now, by the way, napay mga math major dali sa sulod. What do you call this? Kaning 3 dots. So tawag nato aning 3 dots. Math majors? Or kamo, kung maka-remember mo, 4. Nato ana ang 3 dots.
Infinity.
Yes, Jessica?
Infinity.
Ellipsis.
Ellipsis, yeah, correct, Kent. So this is actually called ellipsis. No? Ellipsis. Okay? So forth. So I think you already understand how the second example works. So we add up 1 and 3, so we're able to get 4. Then we add up 3 and 4, so we were able to get 7. Then add up 4 and 7, so we'll be able to get 11. Okay? So, if we are to expand this further, what is the next number to 29? 1, 2, 3, 4,
47.
Dugaya kayo.
47.
Okay, dugaya kayo naka-add. Oy, mobile niya to energizer. Diba? Okay. What's the next number? 47.
76.
Okay, 76. And so on and so forth. So, mupasar mo class kung Fibonacci na tanan ng quiz ang mugawa sa exam. Sure good ko mupasar mo kung Fibonacci ra. Pero dili man Fibonacci ra, so we proceed to the next. Now, the language of mathematics. Before I discuss that one, I'd like to ask, kinsa na ay mga uyab dani, taas ang kamot? Dili pwede magbaka, makagaba na ra ba ko? Kinsa na ay uyab, taas ang kamot? Okay. How do you express your love to your loved ones? Imong mga sa inyong uyab. I'd like to ask Miss Erica, how do you express your love to your boyfriend?
By saying, I love you po. Char.
Sabi na kung mangaway ka din, magpapalit kag milk tea, bitaw.
Char.
Yes, how do you express your love language to your boyfriend or girlfriend? Laparon o kwarta, kaso kay way kwarta. Hala, oy, grabe sad. Giving, unsay, si Ralph looking for man. Okay, service. Oh, there is service according to Darren. Using Morse sa mukha ni using Morse code. Oy, dit 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 dit. Dit 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 dit. Ah, di ba? I just hope your girlfriend code, no? So, coffee date, palpitate. Agoy, lahi pod kang Ralph. Coffee date. Pangutanong na to si Ma'am Jessa. Ma'am Jess. Sorry, mas. How do you express your love to your boyfriend, Ma'am Jess?
Express it in simplest form, Char.
Yeah, example, Ma'am Jess. That time. Wow. Labi, Ma'am Jess, kay pila man imong klase, ma'am, basin full load ka, tapos extra load, so wala na time. So, aside from time. So, naiingon si Ma'am Jess sa time daw. So, we actually have a different way how to express our love, no? To our loved ones, our parents. Palitan rin na lang para yung visit time. Ito, tayo po si Renz. Okay. In mathematics, just like other language, you must first know the vocabulary to understand it. So, parehas sa gyapon na siya sa relationship. Kung, diba, example, kung wala pa mo sa relationship, diba, kanang maghatag og hint, no, nga ganahan ko sa iya, ha. Ikaw po, katong imong ipatagang og hint, di ba siya kasabot sa imong ginapakita. So, dedma imong peg. Diba? Grabe na imong chat-chat nga, nagkaon na ka? Hi. Snack na ka? Grabe reaction ni Ma'am Jessa, oh. Grabe ang reaction ni Ma'am Jessa. Murag makarelate gid siya. Diba? Ikaw nga, grabe ni mong chat-chat ka lang, kumusta? Kanang, gwapo kay kaganina, or gwapo kay kaganina, or imong gichatan kay wa siya kasabot, o sa imong buot pasabot, kay wala mo na kasinabot, no? Wala siya na orient. Diba? So most likely, the love that you have for that person will not be reciprocated. Instead, you will find yourself being rejected. Sakit kaayo, di ba? Okay? Pang-kinder na daw na. Agayon sa di ay. Masa na ang mga aksyonan ninyo karon, di ba? Lahi na mo, level up na din nyo ang mga ways of showing your intention, di ba? Pero nga nga mga ways sa una man na mukaon ka or ikaw ako mukaunan. Lain kayo si Renz. Ma'am Jess, lain kayo sila og mga kuan. Wala na mo'y bugas.
Uy!
Wala na mo'y bugas kaya na ako'y bugas dani. Di ba? Lain na matana diri sa ako. Ikaw, ma'am, how do you express, how do you define love? Dili man nimo ma-define ang love. Our love is undefinable, di ba? Dili man mo siya ma-define. But you can always show it, no? Yeah, how do I express love? Ano ako may gipangutana nga ako may gatawg lecture, Ma'am Jessa, sila ay sa ito. So, dili ko na to bagon unless kung mo pasar mo sa board exam tubagon ta mo ha kanang face to face gyud with coffee kung gusto gyud mo makabalo how do I express love. Pero kung dili kay mo kapasar pantay lang gyud sa
Kana ma'am kay kuan, ma-challenge sila.
Sure, kasi yun siya gusto pa Starbucks unsa inyong gusto Starbucks na walay S or Starbucks nga nay S asa mo pili mo. So ako bala kung mo pasar mo ha. Kung di galing mo kapasar na, di kita mo istoryahan how do I express love. Okay. So, math is like any other language. You must first know the vocabulary to understand it. Dapat makasabot ka. Dapat kabalo ka sa meaning para masabtan nimo or else, GG yun ka. Pwede ka ganahag math. Pwede isod ka ayo. Samot nga, di ka kabalog answer. No? Walay problema, cake raman di ay. Palit tag cake sa Stevens, dalo na to Starbucks, di ba? As long importante na ta Starbucks kakaon. Wala na siya importante na. Okay, in mathematics kasi there are actually a lot of terms that is quite different, but lahi siyang meaning, no? The same term pero lahi siyang meaning. Pero napayuban these different terms pero the same siya meaning. So na yung ana. And mo na siya ang actually nakabahog ka isa fact. Mo nang galibog-libog siya kay daghan kayong terms, lain-lain nga terms pero the same na ang meaning. Kung na estudyante, mo no sila nga mo man example ni ma'am. Pero nganong sa examing animan. Kay gamit na dayog lain nga term si ma'am. Okay, i-check lang kung nakasabot ba mo sa concept. Okay, mo na siya si math. Now, para masabtan nato, dapat kabaluta ang sa vocabulary, basic vocabulary, like sum, sa meaning anang sum, mag-add. Pag may difference, you have to subtract. When you say product, you have to multiply. Quotient, meaning you have to divide. Dili ka pwede maingon nga, uy, pag pangitaon gali ang add sum, no, dili na siya pwede. Pangitaon gali ang sum, meaning you're expected to add. If you are asked about the difference, meaning you have to subtract, no? Yeah, daghan na baglain nga term sa sum, sa pagmain kag sum, daghan kayog lain nga term, no? Pwede kag increase with, added with, or augmented, or may kag so pwede yung mga term, daghan kay mga term nga imong pwede i-describe kung may kag add, no? However, all you need to remember is that when you see these words, add, subtract, multiply, divide, okay, or sum, difference, product, quotient, the problem wants you, okay, to perform the basic mathematical operations, and that includes addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Kung na siya ang 4 basic mathematical operations, wala na ilain. But actually, kung na mga major math dani, I'm not sure if you agree with me, sa abstract algebra, okay, abstract algebra, duha ra gid ka operation ang involved sa mathematics. Manra, multiplication and division. Walay add subtract because the concept of addition and subtraction kay nara gyapon siya sa multiplication and division. Ang concept sa addition and subtraction nara gyapon siya sa multiplication and division for abstract algebra. Okay? So now let's go over some less common math terms that you are likely to see during the session. Like you have the mean, no? When you say mean, this refers to the average. And how do we compute for the average? You simply add up all the numbers and divide by the number of numbers. So bilang kabuok numbers na ihatag sa set data, then you use that to divide the sum of the given numbers. Fractions, take note, fractions gives you a quotient. So you don't need to be afraid of this because they are simply division. This is basically the same with pair. Okay, pair also allows you to divide. Pair is simply another way of saying divided by. Ratio, on the other hand, is simply one number divided by another number. So you see, the concepts behind these 3 terms is division. They are of different terms, but of the same meaning. So you does not need to be scared of these terms. So what's the very important thing that you have to consider? You need to be familiar with the terms. You need to know the vocabulary of the terms para masabtan ninyo siya. Another thing, formula. So formula is a means of calculating a result. You cannot compute the result without a formula, especially if it's a problem-based question. Measurement is a way to give a physical property of a number. And by the way, when you talk about measurement, okay, you need to remember always, especially when you will be teaching, when you be joining the field, you have to remember that when you measure, it is always incorporated with the correct units. Okay? Meaning, any measurement without units will always be invalid. Any measurement, okay, without units is invalid. Dili siya acceptable. Okay? For example, if I'm going to ask how tall are you, for instance, or what's your weight? No, tapos imura kong gitagaan o imuhang weight is 47. Is this acceptable? No. Of course not. Because 47 can actually mean a lot of things. Pwede siya for 47 grams, 47 kilograms, 47 pounds, 47 tons. Daghan siya possible na meaning. And you don't want this figure to be misinterpreted. So you have really to attach the correct unit of that so that it will give a good representation of the data. Okay? So kung mayon ka, pila imong height? 5'10". So man ang meaning sa 5'10"? 5 kilometer and 10 meters. Sa meaning ana? 5 feet and 10 inches or 5 inches and 10 inches. So bali 15 inches ra pa. So you have to clearly specify the units. Okay? That is basically the same sa pagtingin yung board exam. There might be options nga na ay figures nga wala unit, na ay options nga na ay options nga na ay unit, na ay options nga wala unit. So you really have to be extra careful with that. Okay? Power. This is, by the way, assigning an exponent, and most likely is expressed in this manner, where A serves as your base and N serves as your exponent, which, by the way, can either be positive or negative. So most likely, if we are to expand this is expressed as A sub N is equal to A sub 1 times A sub 2 times A sub 3, dot, 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 as it approaches N. Okay? So whatever the value of your N is, you should be able to multiply your base by its base. You should be able to multiply the number by itself accordingly to your N. So for example, if you have 2 raised to the power of 3, some misconceptions will give us 6, which is, by the way, wrong. Because ang uban ilarang i-multiply diretso, but strictly speaking, you have to multiply 2 by itself 3 times, thus giving you 8. Okay? Reciprocal, on the other hand, is simply a fraction flipped upside down. So if you have 1/2 and you have to take the reciprocal of this is simply equal to 2 over 1 or simply equal to 2. Okay? Since 2 divided by 1 is equal to 1. Or if say you have 3/4, the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. But you cannot consider this as equal because 3/4 is 0.75, which, by the way, is not equal to 1.25. Okay? So, baliktaron lang nimo siya. Inverse. Not inverse, but the fraction flipped upside down. Now, what are the things that you have to remember when you deal with numbers, especially, most particularly, when it comes to operations dealing with numbers? So you have to remember PEMDAS. I'm sure you're still familiar with this. That is parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. So if you encounter problems that deals with orders of operation, you have to deal them according to this arrangement or sequence. However, the addition and subtraction may be interchanged. So pwede siya mag-baylo o position. Okay? For example, this one. So you have 4 times x 4 times 6 times 2 all over 1 plus 9 plus minus 4. So in this case, for us to be able to simplify this one, let's copy first the given. Okay. And then recall PEMDAS. PEMDAS. So since there is parentheses involved, so obviously we have to simplify first the terms inside the parentheses. So that would be 24 times 2. And then we copy the expression in our denominator. Then next to parentheses, wala man tayo exponent. So we perform multiplication. Okay. Minus 4. Sorry. Thank you very much. Minus 4. Alright. Minus 4. So we multiply this one. So this gives us 48. Then we can simplify the terms in our denominator. So this gives us 6. Right? And what is 48 divided by 6? This gives us how much? 8. We will have 8 here. Okay. So that is how we simplify the expression, okay? Mathematical expression. Now, how about if we have this one? You have a fraction, you have expressions inside your parentheses, and then you have multiplication. So obviously, if we are to simplify this further, you can automatically simplify or perform this because that's simply division and wala man siya kontra dara. Okay? So you can simply write 3 plus. Now question, should I simplify the terms inside the parentheses or should I distribute 2 inside the parentheses? Which is which? Should I simplify or distribute?
Simplify.
Simplify, no?
Okay, we simplify, no? Okay, accordingly, mag-PEMDAS man ta. So all we need to do is to copy 2, then perform the operation, that's 19, minus 8. Okay? Take note that we cannot add 8 and 4 because there is what? Multiplication here. So plus 12. Alright? Then, moving further, what is 2 times 19? This actually gives us 38 minus 8 plus 12. So in this case, since linear naman na itong expression, there's no other separatory symbol that will allow us to perform that one first, kay addition na lang man ang nabilin. So you can perform this accordingly to how the operations are arranged. So meaning, kay una man ang plus na plus na ito ni siya una. Okay, this gives us 41 minus 8 plus 12. Then, this gives us 30, ilan ni siya? 41 minus 8. 33. Plus 12. Then, kanina yun siya, which basically gives us how much?
45.
Ato na siyang ibutang dali. 45. Okay? So, ang may tabuan ni class, if you are to, say, for example, unahon ninyo ni siya, no? Unahon ninyo ni siya. So, what is negative 8 plus 12? This is 4, right? So, positive 4 man ni siya. Plus 4. So, na lang na siyang positive. Okay? 4. So, 3 plus 38 plus 4, 45 man gihapon siya. But then, since we're talking about, order of operation, okay, since we're talking about order of operations, so we have to perform the operations accordingly to the sequence of the operations involved. Okay, so unahon na ito mag-add, then minus, then add na siya. Okay, so parehas na siya result actually, but then the concept of solving problems that involves order of operation, kaya dili siya ma-apply. Meaning, wala siya na-practice. Kay, ang importante ba yan, nasabda na to ang konsepto. So, and then the process will actually follow. Ang concept man natong dapat masabtan yun, ma-establish. Parehas na sa kuan ba? Parehas na siya sa idea nga, nganong kung na kay negative number plus negative number, okay, nganong negative gihapon ang result, ana. Okay? So, dapat masabtan nimo ang concept, ana. Ang operation man god, ang process itself, dali ra. Imo siyang gi-add, di ba? Then kay 2, kay 2 man na ka A. Pero nganong negative gihapon ang sign? Kung man na siya dapat inong mas masabtan. Kaya the process will actually follow dayon. Pag masabtan ninyo ang concept, then the process will follow. Okay? So, nganong negative man ni siya? Because since kay like signs man siya, and accordingly sa properties of real numbers, if you have like signs and the operation is addition, all you need to do is to add the numbers, okay, then copy the signs. And what if, for example, lahi siya nga say negative 5 plus, say, butang 10. Unless siya, so once unlike sign, you need to do is to perform subtraction. So you have to subtract 5 and 10, so that will give you 5. And then you copy the sign of the larger number. In this case, kay 10 man, so mo ng positive atong answer. On the event, for example, nga mas dako si 5, for example, imuta na siya na, i-express na to na siya because addition subtraction can be expressed this way. Okay? So, kana siya, unlike sign again. So, again, you subtract, kay unlike sign man, and then you copy the sign of the larger number. In this case, that's negative 10, so the answer is negative 5. So, kana siya, ang kana siya. The process will follow once you have already understood the full concept.